Hello 105, my name is Brittany Teacher and today is Wednesday, March 18th, 2020. I'm here today to do your Storytown lesson with you. Today we're going to work in our student book and in our workbook. Let's do our student book pages 212 to 222. We're going to continue reading the story that we started yesterday about Gus and his grandpa. Remember, we're practicing prediction. We're trying to remember or learn how to predict the end of a story or what we will need next or what we will read next. So far, what we know about Gus is that he can't ride a bike. He is one of the only kids on Maple Street who still doesn't know how to ride a bike without training wheels. We also know that he is visiting his grandpa right now, and that he's really relieved to visit his grandpa. Let's continue reading. Oh, he also talked to his grandpa about not being able to ride a bike well and falling down and hurting his knees a lot. Okay, so 212 to 222, I'm going to read and I want you to listen, point, and read after me. So after I read the story, I want you to finish reading by yourself. Okay, here we go. Grandpa led the way to his broken down shed. I think I still have your daddy's old bike, the one he had when he was a little boy. Grandpa pushed aside a cracked door with peeling paint. He looked behind a bunch of boxes. Here it is, he finally said. The bike looked like Gus's old bike, but even older. This was an old bike. Its red paint was rusty. Its tires were flat. We'll fix it up, Grandpa said. Gus suddenly felt hopeful. His daddy had learned how to ride this bike long ago. Maybe he could learn how to ride it now. I want you to underline those three sentences. Gus suddenly felt hopeful. His daddy had learned how to ride this bike long ago. Maybe he could learn how to ride it now. Use your pencil and underline those three right there. Next page, 214. No training wheels. When the old bike was ready, Grandpa loaded it into the back of his car. Gus and Grandpa and Skipper drove to an empty parking lot on the other side of the railroad tracks near Grandpa's house. Once you learn to ride a bike, Grandpa told Gus, you never forget. Sometimes I can't remember what I ate for breakfast, but I always remember how to ride a bike. Grandpa got the old bike. He rode it once around the parking lot. Skipper barked. Gus laughed. Grandpa looked funny riding such a little bike. Now it's your turn, Grandpa said. He held the bike while Gus climbed on. Gus started pedaling. Grandpa ran behind him, holding the back of the bike. Gus rode around the parking lot with Grandpa a million times. They stopped so that Grandpa could rest. Then Gus rode around the parking lot a lot with Grandpa a million more times, and a million more. Suddenly, Gus felt the bike begin to tip. You can do it, Grandpa said. Gus pedaled faster. The bike didn't fall over. Gus kept on pedaling. The bike rode so smoothly that Gus felt as if he were flying. When Gus turned around a curve, his bike turned with him, like a winged horse galloping across the sky. Gus wished Ryan Mason could see him now. There was nothing in the world as wonderful as riding a bike without training wheels. Gus knew Grandpa was right. He would never ever forget how to ride a bike. And he would never forget that Grandpa had taught him how. He would remember that forever. Okay. So let's go to page 22 in your Storytown workbook. We're going to answer the rest of the questions. Number 4, 5, 6, and 7. Let's begin with number 4. Why does Gus feel hopeful? Do you remember when I asked you to underline those 3 sentences? Look again on page 213. Gus suddenly felt hopeful. Why? You already know the answer because we underlined it together. But remember, you need to answer the questions with the correct grammar. So number 4, why does Gus feel hopeful? He feels hopeful because. Blah, 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 blah. And then write your answer. Number 5. What will happen when Gus rides the bike? Why do you think so? Oh, okay. Well, we read the whole story, so we know what happens. But use your prediction skills anyway, okay? Do you remember after page 13 when Gus said he felt hopeful? And Grandpa was fixing up the bike with him. What did you think then? You can begin your opinion by saying, I think Gus will blah, 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 blah. Okay? And then why do you think so? Because I think Gus will blah, 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 because blah, 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 blah. Again, use the story to help you. You don't have to be right exactly, but you should use your story to help you form an opinion. Number 6, what is Grandpa doing as Gus pedals? Let's turn to page 218. The answer is in the first paragraph. So you just begin this sentence with saying, Grandpa, blah, 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 blah. What did Grandpa do? It's on page 218, the first paragraph. And last question, number 7. What does Gus do after he feels the bike begin to tip? That's on page blah, 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 blah. That's on page 220. Gus does what? Okay, so page 4, we know the answer because I told you to underline it. Number 5 is your opinion, but you need to use the grammar. I think Gus will blah, 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 because blah, blah, blah. Number 4, we know because it's on page 218. And number 5 is on page 220, okay? So read the story again one more time. Listen, or listen to the way I read it again if you need to, and underline the answers, and then answer the questions in your Storytown workbook the way I have explained it. That is the end of our lesson for today. Thank you for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.